Welcome to our video entitled How to Sell a Property That Expired Without Selling. My name is Ron Wilstein and I'm a broker at Keller Luxury Properties Worldwide in Park City, Utah. Thank you for joining me on this presentation. Well, if you're watching this presentation, in all likelihood, you have had your property on the market at some time in the past and for whatever reason it didn't sell. Well, that's not uncommon. People often wonder, why didn't my house sell when it was on the market? Well, we're going to attempt to answer that question in this webinar and give you some tips so that next time around you can have a more successful result. There are four main reasons why a listed property does not sell. It is either price, the condition of the property, the location of the property, or a lack of exposure. Let's take a look at each one of these separately. Price. Well, that may seem to be the most obvious one, but it's an important one to talk about up front. There is what I call the 10% pricing rule in Park City, and this is a key guideline for getting the price right so that you can sell your property. An acceptable list price is up to 10% above the fair market value of a property. We'll talk in a moment about how that's determined, but that's an acceptable list price. An unacceptable list price is more than 10% above the fair market value of a property. Taking an example, looking at this chart here, if you have a fair market value of the property, if you put it on the market, it should sell within the first 3 months of being on the market. It's priced correctly, there should be good activity out there, and that should be the result that you get. If you price it below that, then naturally it's going to sell faster, and in all likelihood you're going to have multiple offers as buyers are bidding to buy a property that is listed below market value. Many instances you can list it below market value and actually create a bidding war and turn up selling it for higher than the fair market value. If you go up to 10% above the fair market value, giving yourself some room in negotiations to come off the price and still have an acceptable price, and it will probably take you somewhere between 6 to 9 months to sell your property. Now, if you want to sell it faster, you maybe don't want to list it quite so high. If you listed it at, say, 5% above its fair market value, you still have some room in negotiations to come off the price, and naturally buyers like that nobody likes to pay full price if they can help it. But what happens is your speed on the market is reduced in maybe to a 3 to 6 month period, and if that's your objective in moving, either because you've got a job transfer or any variety of different reasons, then that's maybe where you position your property in terms of price. What you don't want to do is you don't want to list your property higher than 10% above the fair market value. Over the last 2.5 years in Park City, we've seen a very rigid line of resistance that buyers are willing to look at properties that are 5 or 10% above a fair market range, but much higher than that, they don't even have any interest in looking at the property, and rarely do they sell. So it's a little bit of self-sabotage. If you price it too high, you actually will hinder your own ability to sell it, and so it's important to kind of realize where that is. You can get an idea where the fair market value of the property is by getting a property value assessment, and then from there you can position yourself at that fair market value higher by 5 or 10%, or even below if your situation warranted a very fast sale. I have created a video that is entitled How to Price Your Property to Sell in Today's Market. It will go into that element of the 10% rule along with a number of other important elements for you to consider when it comes to pricing. That's not the main objective of this video, and so take a look at that. You can go to the WilsteinTeam.com /price right and watch that separate video. Second element is condition. Now, this picture here is a bit of an exaggeration, although some of you have been to historic Main Street. There are some old miner shacks that kind of look like this. When evaluating the property and the condition of your property, you want to consider a couple things. The outside appearance is very important. Curb appeal, you want to take a look at that. The lawns and the landscaping, you want them to look as good as possible. It's a reflection of what is probably the condition inside the home. Even the front door, having a nice clean front door, freshly painted if it's necessary or stained, some flowers around it, is a nice first impression. Whenever you're looking at the outside of a property, whether it's a home or condominium, the question is, are you curious? Do you want to go in, or do you want to move on to the next property? So the outside appearance is very important in terms of its condition. The interior of a home or condominium is also important. The overall condition, you want it to show as well as it can possibly show. You want to have very good lighting, so if any of your light bulbs are out, or if they're dull because they're just older, change those out for fresh light bulbs. Make the house look bright and clean, and you want to send a very strong message that the property is well cared for, because otherwise buyers, even buyers who are interested in your property, will look for reasons to pay you less, and if they doubt whether the property's been kept up, then they try to reduce the price during negotiations. If there are any corrections that you need to make, you want to make them now. It will help you sell your property this time around to correct anything that perhaps you didn't correct before but were aware of. You will sell your property, by the way, for more money in those instances. Because what buyers do is buyers will always deduct more money from the purchase price than what it actually costs to make the improvement. So if they look at an improvement that maybe costs $500 to do, they'll offer you $2,000 less in negotiations. And they'll point to that one repair, and it's way, way, way inflated, and you can make that objection going away simply by doing the correction. So it's very important to do that. What we've realized in Park City is that buyers of Park City properties do want things updated in a home. Doesn't mean that a home that hasn't been updated won't sell, but it takes longer. It takes a rare buyer. Most buyers want things to be very good condition. A property can be in good condition, but just aged, and we encounter this buyer resistance on those properties. And if that's your situation, you need to give that some consideration to maybe some enhancements. This leads to the importance of what I call my A-B list. And what an A-B list is, whenever I look at a property that I may consider marketing for a seller, is I'm always going to look at the condition of the property, and I will put together a list of repairs or renovations that I think are important for the owner to consider. What qualifies one repair or renovation as an A item as opposed to a B item is, if I look at an item and I believe that making that repair or making that enhancement will make the difference between your property selling or not selling, that's an A item for me. It means that it will make your property sell, or whatever it costs you to do that repair or renovation, you should get that much and more out of your property when you sell it. That's an A item. A B item are items that I see you can make the enhancement, you can make the repair, but may not make the difference between your property selling or not, but still a good idea to do it. So that's the difference between an A item and a B item, and getting an A-B list prepared by me as I evaluate the condition of your property is always helpful. It can overcome those issues if that's what hindered you from selling it last time around. Third item is location. Now this is a great picture. What a great location. You got water on every side. Well, we don't have that here in Park City, but we've got ski properties that are right on the slopes, and we have other properties that have terrific views and other amenities that separate one property from another. Location is important. You've heard the expression in real estate, the most important element, or three elements, is location, location, location. So the location is important. Now, you can't change the location of a property. It is where it is. So while you could adjust the price, the first item, and you can play with the condition of a property and enhance it, can't do that much to change the location, but you can overcome issues that may be objections tied to the location. What I mean by that is there's many objections that arise from a less desirable location that can be overcome. They can often be overcome with landscaping, if it's unsightly what you're looking at. It could be special amenity packages can be made available. I was speaking with the owner of a property in Deercrest, a beautiful property, terrific views, but it wasn't one of those ski access properties. And so we were discussing the pros and cons, that if somebody really wanted a ski in, ski out property, perhaps theirs wasn't going to be a good match. Well, one of the ways that we talked about overcoming this objection is, as part of the sale, purchasing a amenity package or membership with, in this case, St. Regis. That way you could have ski in, ski out access. It was only 90 seconds away from the property. You could have a lot of the same features that if you skied right to and from your property you could have. So there's different ways to overcome objections associated with location. Can't do it all the time, but when you can do it, it's a good thing to consider options. The fourth element is the lack of exposure. Well, this is a key one because you could have a hot property that is very desirable, easy to sell, but if nobody knows about it, then you have a problem there. In order to have a sale, you've got to bring buyers and sellers together over a property, and if they don't know that it's available as an option, you're not going to have a sale. This leads me to sharing some elements about my force multiplier marketing system. This is the element that separates our approach at the Wilstein team from what else is available by other professionals in Park City. A force multiplier is actually a military term. It's used to describe the warfare strategy of attacking an enemy through multiple methods, carefully coordinated together to have a devastating impact. So if you were going to go to war, for instance, and you were just going to attack by land, well, that would work, but that's not as powerful as if you attack by land and by air. And if there are waters available and by water, by land, by sea, by air, special forces, intelligence, combine all these different elements together, you're going to have a greater impact. Well, real estate isn't that much different. There are proven methods to selling properties, and you can combine them, you're going to have a greater impact at successfully selling properties. That's exactly what we've done. We've developed our force multiplier marketing system. It consists of 8 proven strategies that make up our marketing plan. And while I'm not going to take the time to share with you the details on them, I'm just going to highlight them here for you. The first one is internet marketing. 94% of all buyers are going to the internet to find properties. So you've got to be there. That's where the buyers are. Then we utilize the multiple listing service, and typically in Park City we have a multiple listing service. Well, Salt Lake also has one called the Wasatch Front Regional MLS. In our force multiplier, we market both places. That way we throw out a bigger net to attract more buyers through more agents. 24-hour instant property information. We've learned that buyers want information about properties 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they really don't want to talk to a real estate agent until they're ready to. So we make sure that we expose our properties through a variety of methods in order for that 24-hour access to be immediate. And whether it's through signage or smartphones or what have you, we utilize a number of strategies that are highly effective. Through the use of our Park City newsletters, we're constantly reaching out and touching sellers as well as buyers about properties and exposing them and putting deals together. Our Keller Williams Luxury Properties Worldwide collaboration is very powerful, particularly for luxury properties, where we're linking together with top agents, not only in Park City who sell high-end properties, but throughout the world through the Keller Williams network in order to sell your property. We have 3 buyer specialists who are part of our team, and all they do is work with buyers. They respond to every inquiry through our different marketing methods. They're experts at coaching and counseling buyers to make a good buying decision, and they help sell our listed properties. We utilize real estate webinars and videos just like the one that you're watching to educate buyers and sellers alike about the market, changes in the market condition, and how to make good decisions. And then finally, our 3 buyer search websites, instead of using just one, we have 3 different ones because they attract different people, and we want to throw out the biggest net to attract buyers to your property. So that's our force multiplier marketing system. If you're interested in knowing more about it, there's a video that you can watch. Just go to our website, thewilsteinteam.com/force multiplier, and you can watch that, and you'll find that helpful, and it will definitely expand it much more than me racing through it on this video. Also, I have a magazine that I've written entitled Smart Seller. It also talks about the force multiplier marketing plan, and it talks about different things that sellers think about before they list their property and they contemplate. So it's It's a helpful publication. You can email me and I'm happy to drop that in the mail to you. So does all this work? Is this a lot of flash and there's no substance to it? The answer is it works really, really well. We sold 11 properties for every one sold by the average Park City agent last year. So we are outselling them 11 to 1. So we're moving properties. We're highly effective at that through our force multiplier. Our clients also sold their properties faster. Properties that we listed, we sold on average in 48 days. Compare that to the Park City Board of Realtors, that the average time it takes to sell a property is 143 days. So we're able to move properties more effectively and faster. Our clients also put more money into their pockets. This is an interesting statistic. All this data that I'm presenting is from the source, the Park City Multiple Listing Service. It deals with sales from January through December 2013. Our list to sold ratio, we typically, through our negotiations, sell our properties at 98.4% of their list price. The Park City Board of Realtors, their average is 94.1%. So we sell our listings for 4.3% more money, and that ultimately puts more money into our clients' pockets. Last year, the average sold price for a home in Park City was $1,208,147. It's actually over $1,300,000 now. Based upon the average home sold price and the additional 4.3% that we're able to accomplish through effective negotiations for our clients, that would represent $51,950 more in your pocket. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that you'll get that. I'm just saying that that's our track record of what we're able to do for our clients. So there really is substance to what we're presenting here. And then we guarantee our marketing and our services. We have a no-risk 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you're not happy with the services that we're providing, you can fire us at any time for any reason. That's our guarantee. We want to put our money where our mouth is on this. Now, if you're interested in a free property value assessment, simply contact me. And you can actually, even from this window that you're watching this video in, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll find that there is a form. In fact, let me just pop it up here. I'll pop in my website here. This is BuyParkCityRealEstate.com. And if you're watching the webinar and you scroll down a little bit, I'll do it from the home page. You'll come to a form that says learn what your property is worth in today's market. And just take 30 seconds. You can fill in the blanks there or choose from the pull-down menus. And when you're done with it, simply come to the green button, Submit Form. Click that, and that form will come to me. And as a result of that, I will get a notification and contact you to give you a free property value assessment of your property. Or you can call 800-535-0151 is my direct toll-free number, or my email address, ron@thewilsteinteam.com. So I want to thank you for watching this webinar. Consider what we have to offer if you are thinking about selling your property. We don't want it to expire the next time around. We want you to accomplish your real estate investment goals.